What is the agenda for today's classes? Today I'm going to have this class for next 60 minutes. In the next 60 minutes, you people will understand introduction to Power BI. What you will understand is complete introduction to Power BI. As part of this session, you will understand, as part of this introduction to Power BI, you will understand three things. In order to understand first Power BI, first you need to understand data analysis. When you know data analysis, then we can understand Power BI effectively. First, I'll try to make you understand what is data analysis first. You guys will understand first what is data analysis. Okay, once you understand this, second you will learn what is Power BI. So third you will learn how to perform data analysis using Power BI. How to perform which one? Data analysis using what software? Using Power BI. These are the three things we'll understand today. Let's start one by one. So first, we need to start with what? What is data analysis? Someone tell me, online people, if you know what is data analysis. So what is
Analyzing
data
the data
analysis?
which is already available through transactions.
Whatever the data company is having, analyzing the data, we call it as data analysis, right? Let me give the definition here. Yes. So I'll write what is the, there will be many definitions available. I'll write one of the definition. What is the definition is, data analysis is a process. First thing you need to know is data analysis one process. What is the meaning of process means? Process means collection of steps. Process means what? Collection of steps. Data analysis contains multiple steps in it. Let me show you what are the different steps available in data analysis. And I go here. Data analysis contains totally how many steps? In this image, you can see how many steps are there? 5 steps. This 5 steps together, we call it as one process. Data analysis, to be more specific, it's a 5-step process. What are the 5 steps? First step is OLTP. Second step is ETL. Third step is OLAP. Fourth step is creating reports. Fifth step is sharing them to what? Clients. These are the 5 steps available in where? Data analysis. Okay, you'll understand. Data analysis is a 5-step process. I can write it's a 5-step process. What that 5-step process will do is, which converts business data, companies' business data into actionable information. Into what? Actionable information. So data analysis company will have business data, right? When there is a company, that company will have, every company will have their business data, right? So what this data analysis will do is, this data analysis will take that business data and it will convert into what? Actionable information. It will convert business data into actionable information. We will understand what is business data, what is actionable information, every point. So this is the small definition. Okay, let me graphically show you how the data analysis will look like. I'll just open one image. This image we call data analysis. Data analysis also known as what? Business intelligence. Both are one and the same. Data analysis or business intelligence contains how many steps? 5 steps. What are the 5 steps? First step is OLTPs. Second step is ETL. Third step is OLAP. Fourth step is creating reports or visuals. Fifth step is sharing with clients. These are the 5 steps available in data analysis. Before I discuss in detail about these 5 steps, I'll discuss pin to pin about these 5 steps. First step is what? OLTP. Second step we have is what? ETL. Third step, OLAP. Fourth step, creating reports. Fifth step, share reports to the clients. Share reports to the clients. Share reports to clients. These are the 5 steps available in the data analysis. Okay. I want to make you understand what is OLTP, what is ETL, what is OLAP, what is this reports, Why we need to share? Everything I need to explain. Before I explain, I want to know, okay, data analysis is there. Who will use it? Who will use data analysis? What is the answer is, who will use the data analysis is each and every company. What? Each and every company will perform which one? Data analysis. No matter whether it's a company is a small or big, whether it is a small company or whether it's a big company, they need to perform what? Data analysis. We will understand. Let me elaborate this point. When there is any company, you name any company. There are a lot of companies available. You name any company. One of the company is Amazon. I'll write few company names. The second one I can write here is Flipkart. I can write ICICI. So if you keep on writing, I can write thousands and lakhs of company names. In this list, I'll include this institute name also. So when there is this institute name, Analytics Benchmark, when there is any company, the company will do what? Business. You tell Amazon is doing what business? They are into many business. One of the major business is what? E-commerce. Flipkart is also doing what business? E-commerce. ICICI is doing one business? Banking. They're into banking. Analytics Benchmark, this training institute, into what business? We are into education or training or studies or whatever it is, education. So when any company is doing the business, from the business they'll get what? When a company is doing the business, from the business they'll get the data. They'll get what? Business data. You take Flipkart. When Flipkart is doing e-commerce business, they are doing e-commerce business, they'll get the business data. What is the business data they'll get? Orders data, then returns data, then customers related data, and then what? Products related data, and then sales related data. If you keep on writing, I can write lot of different data. This kind of data it will produce. Okay. You take ICICI Bank. ICICI is doing what business? Banking business. They also get what? Business data. Tell me what business data ICICI will get? Day-to-day transactions. They'll get what? Transactions related data, loans related data, credit card related data, and so on. If you keep on writing, it will also produce lot of data. Like this, you take Analytics Benchmark. We are into education. The business we are doing is edutech, education. We also get the business data or not? What is the business data for us? Students, the most important business data for us is what? Your data is the most important business data for us. Students, staff related data, courses related data, fee related data. You will pay the fee amount. That and all data for us, right? So when a company is doing the business, it will produce lot of business data. When a company is getting the business data, that will be stored, guys. Some companies will store the business data in where? Excel files. The companies who are getting less volumes of data, take an example. We will get every day some 10 students. The 10 students data, I can store it in where? Excel. Some companies will get huge volumes of data. If you take ICICI Bank, they will get lot of transactions data per day. They might not store in
Sir, we are
Excel. They
not
might
able to
go and
hear you,
store
sir.
the
Sorry.
business data in where? SQL Server or some other database. What is that? Someone is unmuted. Yes. What is that? So they will store the data. Some companies will store the business data into where? SQL Server database. Some companies will store their business data in where? Oracle database. Not only these three places, guys. I write only three examples. Some companies will store in where? MySQL database. Some companies will store in where? DB2 database. If I keep on writing, I can write hundreds of data sources. We call them as data sources, guys. Wherever companies are storing the business data, we call it as what? Data source. Company, when they are getting the business data, that will be stored. That we call it as a data store, data source. So example for data source I said is what? Excel, SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL database, and so on. I can write hundreds of places. Once the business data is stored here, they want to analyze the business data. What they want to do? They want to analyze the data. Analyzing the data means, let's say you take analytics benchmark. By end of the month, I need to see how many students got registered. I need to get students count. I need to see what is the overall revenue generated. So that is nothing but whatever the data you stored throughout the month. End of the month, you need to analyze it. You need to know what has happened there. So every company want to analyze the data, what is there in the data source. Analyzing the data means they need to understand where we are performing good, where we are performing bad. So why they need to analyze the data is in order to take some decisions. In order to take what? Decisions, they want to analyze the data. So companies need to analyze the data to take better business decisions. Companies need to what? Analyze the data to take what? To take better business decisions. In order to take better business decisions, they need to analyze the data. I'll tell you guys, any company, when it is planning to analyze the data, they require something called reports. What they require? If a company need to analyze the report data, that the company will analyze using what? Reports only. Right, that point. Companies required which one? Reports to what? Analyze the data. So let me show you how the reports will look like. I'm just going to show you some sample reports here. I'm just going to show you some sample reports now. Just observe here. Not here. I'll just show you some sample reports to you. Let me open. We have a artificial intelligence sample, corporate spend, regional sales sample, revenue opportunities. I just opening couple of reports. Let me upload one more report here. So just a second. Desktop. Okay. So just try to understand. We have a lot of reports here. And there is one more report with the name e-commerce sales analysis. Now you can see there are a lot of reports available here. This one, each one we call it as a report, guys. This one we call it as a what? Report. Company required this kind of reports to analyze the data. Companies required this kind of reports to analyze the data. Okay, that's fine. Now go back. IT spender. This is another report. This is another report. So this kind of reports we required. So you are seeing a lot of reports here. This is another report. This is another report. So this is another report. This is another report. What is this report name? You see the title of the report I given us what? E-commerce sales report. Try to understand here. Each one we call it as a visual. Line chart is one visual. Column chart is one visual. Donut chart is one visual. Scatter chart is one visual. Map is one visual. All the visuals together, I'm calling it as one report. What? This is one report. Companies required this kind of reports. For what purpose I said? I said the companies required reports to understand where they are doing good or bad. Let's say you have one visual here. In this visual, if you see, we are showing what information here is. We are showing subcategory wise profits. What we are showing here? In this visual, we are showing each subcategory what is the profits we are doing. When you go to this visual, you can see which subcategory is generating highest profits. Just a second, guys. So when you go here, you can understand which subcategory is generating highest profits here. Copiers is the one which is generating what? Highest profits. Copiers is the one which is generating highest profits. Second highest profits, phones. Lowest profits, tables. Tables profit number is minus 18K. So when you show profit in the negative number, nothing but what? Loss. Suppliers, bookcases, tables have negative numbers, negative profits. Negative profits are nothing but what? Losses. This kind of visuals are required. When I share this visual with my company people are my clients. When I share it, they can understand by using the visuals where we are performing good, where we are performing bad. So by looking at the visual, copiers and phones are really doing good. Tables, bookcases, suppliers are doing bad. We can understand it. Based on that, I can take what? Decisions. I can take what? Decisions. So now, when I share this visual with my company people, my company decided to stop selling suppliers, bookcases, and tables. Why they are planning to stop selling them? Because they are getting losses. So when I share the same visual with my company people, my company decided to concentrate more on copiers business and phones business. Why? They are producing huge profits. So that kind of decisions they'll take. We required what? We required this kind of reports. We required this kind of reports for what purpose? To analyze the data. Why we need to analyze the data? Better business. Take an example. I'll give another example, guys. Why companies need to analyze the data? Currently ICICI Bank is there. Imagine ICICI Bank is operating in 1,000 branches. How many branches? 1,000 branches. They are planning to close 10 branches, guys. What they want to do? Close 10 branches. Will they randomly go and pick the 10 branches and close it, or what they'll do? So what they need to do is they are not supposed to go and randomly pick the 10 branches and close it. First, what they need to do? They need to take 1,000 branches data and they need to do what? Analyze the data. When I take 1,000 branches and analyze it, I can understand which branches are doing good, which branches are doing bad. I want to go to the branches where we are doing what? Bad, then we need to close it. In order to take this decision, first, do I want to analyze the data or not? Yes. Companies, after analyzing the data only, they'll take decisions, guys, right? In order to analyze the data, you require something called what? Reports. Any company which want to create this kind of reports, in order to create this kind of reports, they need to perform a complete process called data analysis process. People will think that directly we'll go and create the reports. No. Before we are creating the reports, we have a background process. First, we need to do ETL. We need to create OLAP database. Then only we'll create what? Reports. Any company which is planning to create the reports, they need to perform what? Data analysis. Right, that point. Companies will create the reports using data analysis process. Companies will create reports by performing which process? Data analysis process. You take any company or every company, every company will perform data analysis process, guys. Every company will perform what? Data analysis process. What is the reason companies will perform data analysis processes? In order to create reports. In order to what? Create reports. Why the companies need to create the reports is that reports will help companies to what? Analyze the data. To analyze the data. Why companies need to analyze the data is to take better decisions, business decisions. Any company, when they want to take better decisions, what they need to do? Analyze the data. The data need to analyze. In order to analyze the data, they require what? Reports. In order to create the reports, they need to perform what? Data analysis. That is the reason every company will perform what? Data analysis. Using that, they'll create reports. They will analyze the data and they'll take the decisions. This kind of reports they required to analyze the data. Okay, perfect. We got an idea. Who will use the data analysis means each and every company. Now, let's try to understand these 5 steps in detail now. Now, before I go and explain, now I want to make you understand the data analysis. Now companies need to perform, right? What is the data analysis contains? I'll explain. Before that, let me tell you who is data analyst. Who is data analyst? Might be you join this course to become a what? Data analyst. To become a who is data analyst is the person who performs data analysis process. Data analysis is a what? Data analyst. The meaning is the person who do this ETL, the person who create a OLAP database, the person who create the reports, the person who share the reports to the clients. That person name is what? Data analyst. Data analyst is the one who will do all this data analysis. Okay, now in the data analysis, what is the first step? OLTP. Let's try to understand what is OLTP. What is the full form for OLTP? Online transactional processing. Online transactional processing, right? Let me write the definition of OLTP. So the place where companies stores business data. What? business data we call as OLTP. We call it as what? If my company is storing their business data in the SQL server, I can call the SQL server as OLTP. If my company is storing the business data in the Oracle database, I can call Oracle as OLTP. So how you got that name means another name for business data is transactional data. What is the another name? Transactional data. Business data or transactional data. Wherever, so you are storing transaction. Then in this OLTPs, we will store transactional data. What you will store?
Transactional
Transactional
data.
data. Wherever you store the business data or transactional data, we call it as what? Online transactional processing. In the name itself, transactional is there because it is storing transactional data. Wherever we store the transactional data, we call it as online transactional processing. In short, we call it as what? OLTP. Don't think
OLTP.
much about the OLTP. It is just a name. OLTP is just a name. Software, in the software terminology, wherever they are storing their business data or transactional data, they're calling it as OLTP. In short, every company will have one or multiple OLTPs. Every company will have either one or multiple what? OLTPs to what? To stores business data or transaction. Every company which is running, they'll get the data, right? In order to store, they need what? OLTPs. Some company will have only one OLTP. Some company will have what? Multiple OLTPs. Multiple OLTPs. That OLTPs are the place where we will store what? Business data. So why multiple OLTPs? You take ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank will have lot of different subjects data. Lot of data. They'll have savings account data. They'll have loans data. If you keep on writing, they have other. Might be they don't store every data in single place. They might be storing savings account data in SQL Server. They might be storing loans data in Oracle database. How many OLTPs they are storing? Two, right? Like that, companies will store the business data sometimes in multiple OLTPs also. Some company will have only one OLTP. Some company will have multiple OLTPs in order to store what? Business data. Now, next step is companies provide one or multiple OLTPs to the data analyst. Companies provide one or multiple OLTPs. Company will provide one or multiple OLTPs to whom means data analyst and ask to create reports to analyze the data. To what? Analyze the data. So this OLTPs, who will provide means company will provide this OLTPs to whom? Data analyst. Once the company provide this OLTPs to the data analyst, they'll ask you to use that OLTPs asked to create what? Reports. Why company will ask to create reports? Analyze the data and to take what? Better decisions. The important point is it is never recommended to go and create reports on OLTPs. Not recommended to make a note. Okay, even though company provide the OLTP to data analyst, when they ask to create the reports, you are not supposed to create reports on what? OLTP. Important note is it is never recommended. It is never recommended to create reports directly on where? OLTPs. Tell me guys, what is the reason? There are many reasons. What is the major reason why we don't create reports on OLTPs? Huh? Online people, what is the reason?
The format would be different and it will be in a clumsy manner, like every column
Yes,
data won't be
right.
good.
There are many reasons. One major reason is correct. What they said is you'll have raw data. What data? There are chances OLTPs will have raw data. Raw data is not useful for what? Creating the reports. Or we will have also call it as raw data as unstructured data. What data? Unstructured data, which is not useful for what? Creating the reports. I'll tell you what is raw data or unstructured data. I'll tell you within few minutes. I'll show you why it is not useful for creating the reports. I'll practically show you. So the major reason why OLTP is not useful is you have what? Unstructured data. As you have unstructured data, that unstructured data is not useful for creating the reports. I'll tell you what is that. So That is the reason we don't create the reports directly on OLTP. Okay, then what we need to do is, in order to create the reports, as OLTP is not useful, now what data analysts need to do is, now data analysts need to create a new database. What? New database. What is the new database name? OLAP. That OLAP database, we will use it for what? Creating the reports. Now what data analysts need to do is, now data analyst need to create a new database called what? OLAP. For what purpose? To create reports and analyze the data. To create reports to analyze the data. It's a brand new database which will be built from the scratch by whom? Data analyst. What is the OLAP full form is? Online Analytical Processing. What is the full form of OLAP? Online Analytical Processing. How you got this name, I'll tell you. Now, okay, it's a new database. We need to move the data from OLTP database to OLAP database. To move the data from OLTP database to OLAP database, we required some softwares called what? ETL. In the software field, to move the data from one place to another place, companies will use what softwares? ETL. Write that point. To move the data from OLTP to OLAP, we need some softwares called ETL. To move data from OLTP to where? OLAP, we need what softwares? ETL software, guys. What is the ETL full form is? Extract, transform, load. Extract, transform, load. Okay, now you are telling that we need to move the data from OLTP to where? OLAP. What data we need to move to OLAP is, you don't need to move all the business data which is available in the OLTP to OLAP. While moving the data to the OLAP, we need to move only the data which you need to show in the reports. Which you need to show in the reports. Take an example. My OLTP have 100 tables. How many tables are there in OLTP? In the 100 tables, your company is storing what? Business data. Imagine. You want to create the report, and in the reports, you need to show only 10 tables data. What you need to show? 10 tables data. Now you guys tell me, from OLTP to OLAP, does it require to bring all the 100 tables or only 10 tables? I said that into OLAP, we need to bring only the 10 tables which you need to use to what? Create reports. OLAP need to have only the data required for what? Analysis. Analysis means what you need to show in the reports, right? Create reports. So when it comes to OLAP, the data which is in the OLAP will not be in the unstructured. It will be in the structured format. It will be in what format? Structured. But when it comes to OLAP, the data will be in the structured data. Now you guys tell me, OLAP is getting the data from where? OLTP. You are telling OLTP contains what? Unstructured. By why OLAP is getting structured means because of what? ETL. The data is, if you directly move the data from OLTP to OLAP, it also become unstructured. As you are moving the data through what? ETL. What ETL will do? Extract, transform, load. It will take the data. The most important in the ETL is transform. What the transform will do is, it will convert unstructured to what? Structured. That structured data will be stored in where? OLAP, right? How you got this name as OLAP is, this OLAP stores only analytical data. It stores only analytical data. It stores what? Only analytical data. It stores only analytical data. As OLAP stores only what? Analytical data. We call it as, name itself you're saying, online analytical processing, because it stores only what? Analytical data. So they are calling it as, in short, OLAP. They're calling it as what? In short, OLAP. In short, OLAP. Okay, guys. Now, we understand OLAP will have only data required for what? Analysis. In which format? Structured. This OLAP is best suitable for what? OLTP is not suitable because of unstructured. Now, let me tell you what is unstructured data, what is structured data, why unstructured data is not useful for creating the reports. I'll tell you guys. Let me open a small slide here to explain this. I just open a small slide. Now, look at this. So take this first table is the data in the OLTP. This is how the data will be generally available in where? OLTP. Take the second table. This is how the data will be in the OLAP. You will move the data from OLTP to OLAP using what softwares? ETL, right? So generally OLTP will get the data from different people. Let's say if you take Amazon website, how many people will go and place the order is thousands of people will place the order. When thousands of people are entering the data, they will enter in different formats. Let's say I ask 5-6 people to write their country name. Will all the people, 5 people write the country name in the same format or different formats? Different formats they'll write. One person write the country name as what? United States. Second person write US. Third one U.S. USA. When it comes to here, all this is same from same country, United States only, but they enter in different formats. So this we call it as unstructured, guys. What? OLTP contains data in the unstructured. One person entered in the United Kingdom, second person like UK, both are same. So as the data you are getting into the OLTP from different places, different people, you'll get what data generally? Unstructured. But you are moving this data through ETL. What ETL process will do is, it will convert US to what? United States. It will convert U.S. to what? United States. Converting U.S. to United States is nothing but a transformation. Nothing but it will convert UK to what? United Kingdom. All this kind of transformations will happen here in the ETL software. And the data will be stored in the OLAP. Now tell me, OLAP is having structured or unstructured? Same format means structured. Same format means structured. Okay, now go to the next slide. When I go to the next slide, so this time, this is how the data will be in the OLTP. I said, I'm trying to create this visual directly on OLTP. Directly on what? OLTP. So you are trying to show country-wise sales. What you are trying to show in the visual? I share this visual with my company people. When I share this visual with my company people said this visual is wrong. This visual is what? Wrong. Why this visual is wrong? So this visual is stating that you are doing the business in 7 different countries. How many names it is showing in the country? 7 names. It is showing how many sales values? 7 sales values. But my client don't want to see 7 sales values here. You are doing the business in how many countries? 2. They want to see only 2 countries names and 2 sales. So when you try to create the visual directly on the OLTP, the visual will get wrong information. Visual will get the data, but it will show meaningless data. That is the reason we don't go and create reports directly on what? OLTPs. Even you create, you cannot do analysis here. Now go to the next slide. This is the table in where? OLAP. Now you are using this to create this visual. Here also you are showing what? Country-wise sales. What the reporting tool will do is, if there is a similar name, it will group it as 1. After grouping it as 1, it will do sum of sales. When it sum all these 5 values, what is the number you will get? 1500. It will group these 2 values as 1. And when you sum this 100 plus 200, you'll get what? 300. When I share this visual with my company people said this visual is correct. We are doing the business in 2 countries. United States is doing more sales. United Kingdom is doing what? Least sales. So they can do some analysis here. That's what I said. Finally, what we understand is OLTPs will contain unstructured data as it is getting from different people. If you try to create the reports directly, you'll get meaningless results. That is the reason first we need to take the data to what softwares? ETL softwares. In ETL softwares, we need to clean the data or transform the data. Clean the data or transform the data. The tools have that capability. That clean data or transformed data, we need to store in a separate database called what? OLAP. That OLAP database, we generally use it for what? Creating the reports. This kind of reports, what you are showing here, this kind of reports will be always created on OLTP or OLAP. OLAP will create
OLAP.
always on what? OLAP, guys.
OLAP.
Right. So now once your OLAP is ready, that OLAP you need to use it for creating reports, I said, right? The information which we are seeing in the reports, we generally call it as actionable information. Try to understand. The information what you are showing in the report or visual, we generally call it as what information I said? Actionable information. Actionable information. Why we call the information which you are seeing in the report, we call it as actionable information is, when you share this information with your clients, clients will take decisions, right? What they'll take? Decisions. Decisions are nothing but actions. Decisions are nothing but actions. By using the data in the visuals, clients will take decisions or actions. That is the reason we call it as what? Actionable information, guys. Try to understand the information which you shown in the reports. We generally call it as what information means? Actionable information. So once you create the reports, that reports you will share with the clients. Clients will see the data and they'll take the actions, right? Now go and read the definition of data analysis, what I provide. Now you'll get the clarity of this definition. What is the definition I provide? Data analysis, a 5-step process which converts what? Business data into actionable. Where do you have business data? Business data is stored in where? OLTPs. Where do you have actionable information? Reports. Reports are the place where you will have actionable information. To convert business data into actionable information, what are the 3 major steps is? First major step is what? ETL. Second major step is what? Creating OLAP database. Third major step is what? Creating. These are the 3 major steps for whom? For the data analyst. For the data analyst. Once you create the report, you will share with whom? Clients. These are the 5 steps you have. In these 5 steps, who will provide the OLTPs? Companies. There is no much. Data analyst will not do anything here. To the data analyst, company will provide. What is the first major work data analyst do? ETL. Second major work? Creating OLAP. Third major work? Creating reports. And sharing the reports to the client is an easy task. Which one? These are the 3 major tasks. For whom? Data analyst. Now, okay guys, we got an idea. What is data analysis? In order to do this data analysis, in order to do these 5 steps, we required one software, guys. We required what? One software. Nowadays, most of the companies are using a software called Power BI. What software? Power BI. So to do these 5 steps, nowadays companies are using Power BI. We not only have Power BI to do these 5 steps, we have other softwares also. Yes or no? There are hundreds of softwares available in the market to do what? Data analysis. Tell me what are the few softwares? One is Power BI. Tell me other softwares. Tableau. Then ClickView. If you keep on writing, we can write lot of softwares here. You can do this data analysis in Python also. Where? Python. You can do this 5 steps in Excel also. In where? Excel. All these softwares we can use. But nowadays, mostly what software they are using? Power BI. Believe me, guys. I'm not telling that as I'm teaching this, they are using more. So I'm not telling that as I'm teaching it, they're using more, but it is the reality, guys. So you can see here, there is a company called Gartner. What the company do is, they'll give the rankings. What this company will do? They'll give the rankings every year for this data analysis softwares. Data analysis softwares are business intelligence softwares. What is the company name? Gartner. When they give the rankings, they release the rankings in the May 2025, few months back. Every year once they'll release. In the leaders board, which one is in first place? Microsoft Power BI is in the first place. Second place is what? Tableau. Tableau product is now Salesforce one. When compared to Tableau, Microsoft Power BI is far ahead. Far ahead. So all this software is also used for what? Performing data analysis only. But most of the companies are using Microsoft product. Right? In Microsoft also, which product they're using to do data analysis? Power BI. Not only for this particular year. Believe me, last 7 years, Microsoft Power BI is in the first place. Which one is in the first place? Microsoft Power BI is in the first place from last 7 years. Most of the companies, in order to do this data analysis, they will use one software called what? Power BI. Now let's try to understand this Power BI software. Next step. Once we understand data analysis, we'll go and understand what is Power BI. What is Power BI? Tell me guys, who developed Power BI? Microsoft company developed Power BI. What is the reason Microsoft developed Power BI? Keeping in mind what they developed Power BI is, Power BI developed to perform data analysis. To perform what? No doubt Microsoft developed Power BI in order to do what? The 5 steps. In order to do these 5 steps, Microsoft developed Power BI, guys. Okay. Now, first point you need to know is, I'll tell you, you need to do 5 steps. First point you need to know is, Power BI is the name for collection of softwares. First point you need to know about Power BI is what? Power BI is the name for collection of softwares. People will think that Power BI is one single software. No, it is the name for what? collection of softwares. What are the different softwares available is? First software available is Power BI Desktop. What is the first software? Power BI Desktop. Second software available is Power BI Service. Third software available is Power BI Report Server. Report Server. Fourth software available is Power BI Mobile. Power BI Mobile. So these are the 4 different softwares available in where? Power BI. These 4 softwares I can call it as what? Collection of softwares. We use for this softwares Microsoft given the name called what? Power BI, and these 4 softwares together used to do what? 5 steps, data analysis. Okay. Now out of the 4 softwares, the major software is Power BI Desktop. What is the major one? Power BI Desktop. Power BI Desktop is a development software in Power BI. It is a development software in Power BI. Power BI developer will work 90% of his time. 90% of their time they will work in Power BI Desktop only, guys. 90%. These 3 softwares are there, right? That softwares are small softwares where we hardly work for how much time? 10%. Major time Power BI developer will spend in where? Power BI Desktop, and he will do what? Development, guys. Tomorrow when you learn Power BI, okay, you join this course and you learn Power BI. After you learn Power BI, you will become a Power BI data analyst, guys. Try to understand. When you join this course and learn Power BI, when you learn Power BI, we will call it as what? Power BI data analyst or simply data analyst. As you are doing the data analysis using Power BI, we call you as what? Power BI data analyst. Simple. Power BI developer will do the data analysis using Power BI. So we can call it as Power BI data analyst. So now Power BI data analyst, mostly he will work in where I said? Power BI Desktop. How much time? 90%. Remaining 3 softwares you will work for what? 10% of time only. Let me open one Power BI architecture slide. If you go and look at this, this is Power BI Desktop, guys. This Power BI Desktop internally contains how many softwares again? 3 softwares. Internally it contains what? Power BI Desktop again internally contains 3 softwares. What are the 3 softwares you have is Power Query, Power Pivot, or these are the 3 different softwares internally available in there. Power BI Desktop. Write them. Power BI Desktop internally contains 3 more softwares. First one is Power Query. Second one is Power Pivot. Power Pivot or Power Pivot. Power Pivot. The third one is what? Power View. First, I listed all the available softwares in Power BI. Now we need to understand, using all the softwares what I listed here, we need to understand how to perform this data analysis. How to perform this data analysis. Tell me, guys, to the Power BI data analyst, who will provide the OLTPs? Companies. Already companies will have, companies are clients, we can call it as. Companies or clients will provide this OLTPs to whom? Data analyst, right? Okay, once they provide, what is the first step Power BI data analyst need to do? When the company provide OLTPs contains what data? Unstructured data. We need to clean it. In order to clean it, Power BI data analyst need to take the data to ETL software and you need to clean it, right? So in Power BI, where we can do ETL is using a software called what? Power Query. There are many softwares available. Out of many softwares available, which software we need to use to do what? Power Query. Power Query is an ETL software in Power BI. What is that? Power Query is an what software? ETL software in where? Power BI, guys. In Power BI, Power Query, you can see this architecture slide. On the top of Power Query, I written it is a what? ETL. So this Power Query will connect wherever companies are storing the data. We can call it as either OLTPs or data sources. Either one is same. OLTPs or data sources, both are same. That is the place where companies store what? Business data. What this ETL software will do is it will connect to OLTP. It will extract the data. After extracting the data to the Power Query, it will transform the data. The transformed data will be loaded into where? Power Pivot. Okay. Once you load the transformed data to Power Pivot, okay. So we completed OLTP provided by the company. ETL was performed in where? Power Query. After doing ETL, what is the next step? OLAP. So what is the next step Power BI data analyst need to do is he need to create what? OLAP. Where we will create OLAP in Power BI is using what? Power Pivot case. Power Pivot is a database. Power Pivot is a database which is used to create which one? OLAP, which is used to create what? OLAP. If you look at this architecture slide, on the top of Power Pivot, I written it's a OLAP. So, how SQL Server is one database, how Oracle is one database. In the similar way, Power Pivot is also one what? Database case. What you do now, you extracted the tables, right? You transform the data in the tables, right? You will load the tables to where? Power Pivot. Power Pivot will store the tables because it's a what? It's a database. Power Pivot will store the data because it's a database. The database we use to create what? So you load the tables, right? Whatever the tables we loaded here, the tables will use it to create what? OLAP. OLAP. So try to understand. We'll see in practical in the coming classes how we guys will create OLAP in the Power Pivot. We'll see. Now we understand ETL will be performed in where? Power Query. OLAP database will be created in where? Power Pivot. What is the next step for the Power BI data analyst? Create reports. Where we will create the reports is using a software called what? Power View. So Power View is a software. Power View is a software which is used to create what? Reports. Which is used to create reports, right? Once you create the reports, finally you will do what? Share the reports to the clients. So now you can see in the architecture slide, I written on top of Power View, it used for creating visual reports. That visual reports contains what? Who want to see that actionable information? Clients, right? So important point is Power BI desktop cannot share the reports to who? Clients. In order to share the reports to the clients, we need to publish it to what? Either Power BI service. From there, we need to share with whom? Clients. Either we need to publish it to Power BI report server. We need to share with what? Clients. Try to understand an important point. Power BI desktop can create the report here, but it cannot share the report directly to whom? Clients. In order to share the report, first we need to move the report to where? Power BI service. From there, we will share with what? Clients. Or we need to move it to where? Power BI report server, we need to share with the clients. Sharing the report to the clients is an easy task. It's not a tough task, but it can be done using either Power BI service or it can be done using Power BI report server. You might need to get one question here. What is the question you need to get is, in order to do ETL, I have only what? Power Query. In order to create OLAP, I have only what? Power Pivot. In order to create reports, I have only what? Power View. In order to share the reports to the client, I have Power BI service and report server. There are two softwares to do the same work. Why there are two softwares to do the same work? Duplicate, right? What is the difference is, you need to know the difference. What is the difference is, one is a cloud one. One is cloud version. Which one? Cloud version. Second one is on-premise one. Which one? On-premise. So Microsoft is providing two ways to share the reports to the client. One is through cloud. Second one is through on-premise. No company will choose both. A company will choose either a cloud, either on-premise. 99% of the companies, they're choosing cloud to share the reports. 1% of the companies, they're choosing what? On-premise. In Power BI desktop, after we develop the report, mostly we'll publish it to where? Power BI service. From there, we'll share with whom? Clients. So write that point now. Power BI service is a Azure cloud-based software. It's Azure cloud-based software, which is used to what? Just a second, guys. Just a second. Just a second. Which is used to share the reports to whom? Clients, right? Share the reports. Just a second. Just a second. Which is used to share the reports to clients, guys. Share the reports to the clients. So Azure, it's a Power BI service, it's Azure cloud-based software, which is used to share the reports to the clients. How much percentage is it? 99% of the companies, they use this. When it comes to Power BI report server, I said it's a what? It's a on-premise software. It's an on-premise software, which is used to share the reports to the clients. Even this one is used what? Which is used to share reports to whom? Clients. How much percentage they're using, I said? Only 1% of companies or clients, they're using this. Okay. Once you publish the reports from Power BI desktop to where? Power BI service. Most of the companies, they'll publish. From there, they'll share with whom? Clients. Whatever the reports we shared with the clients, how the clients can see it. Compare like this. I send an email to you. I logged into Gmail. I send a Gmail to you. When I send a Gmail, where are the places you people can check the Gmail? You can go and check the Gmail in your laptop. You can check the Gmail in your desktop. You can even check the Gmail in your mobile phone also, right? These are the three different places we can check the information. In the same way, from Power BI service, when I share the report to the client, clients also can check that reports in where? Laptops, desktops, mobiles. In order to check the report in the mobile, we require a mobile app. We require a what? Mobile app. So first you need to go to Play Store or App Store, and then we need to download the mobile app. Using that, you need to see it. So what is the mobile app Microsoft developed is what? Power BI Mobile. Power BI Mobile, it's a mobile app. When you go to Play Store or App Store, when you search with the name called what? Power BI Mobile, what you will find? You'll find a mobile app. Power BI Mobile, it's a mobile app which is used for what purpose? Which is used to see reports in where? In mobiles, or even in the tabs, or even in the iPads. We have mobile app for iOS. We have mobile app for Android. We also have mobile app for Windows also. Which one your client? Who will install mobile app? Developers or clients? Clients. Clients are the one who need to see it, right? So these are the different softwares available in Power BI. You guys tell me, using these softwares, can I do this data analysis completely? Yes. Who will provide the OLTPs? Companies. Where you do ETL? Power Query. Where you will create OLAP? PowerPoint. Where you will create reports? Power You. How you will share the reports mostly with the clients? Power BI service. Now we clearly understand. If someone asks you, tell me what is Power BI, the best answer is Power BI is the name for what? Collection of softwares which are used to what? Perform which one? Data analysis, guys, which are used to perform. This is the best definition for Power BI. Now let's go and try to understand the last consolidate. By this time we understand what is data analysis and we understand what is Power BI. Let me consolidate both of them. Now I'll just consolidate it. How to perform what? Data analysis using Power BI. Using Power BI. I'll write in simple 2 lines. We discussed a lot of things about data analysis. We discussed a lot of things about Power BI. Let's make it simple now. To make it simple, how to perform data analysis? Data analysis first step is what? OLTPs. Who will provide? Companies will provide. Companies will provide. So in the data analysis, what is the second step? ETL. Where we will do in Power BI? Using Power Query. Using Power Query. In the data analysis, what is the third step? Creating OLAP. Where you will create OLAP? Power Pivot. Correct. So after creating the OLAP, what is the next step? Create reports. Where you will create reports, I said? You can create the reports in the Power View. After creating the reports, what is the next step? Share reports to the clients. Share reports to your clients. How you will share, I said? Mostly with Power BI service. Mostly with what? Power BI service. Okay, guys. This is what? How you will perform data. When you join in the company as a Power BI developer, Power BI data analyst, you need to do data analysis using what software? Power BI. This is how you will do it. Okay. Now, this is the technical part of today's class. I'll discuss few important things now. So we are done with the demo almost, but few important things. I said that while starting off the class, I'll discuss about these 3. What is data analysis? What is Power BI? How to perform data analysis using what? Power BI. We understand few general points I'll discuss now, which are important to learn Power BI. Must and should you need to know about the general points in order to learn Power BI, guys. Let's see it. Instead of typing them, I'll copy paste it. I'm just going to previous batch notepad. In the previous batch notepad, I'm just going to copy few points here. What are the few points I'll copy? Let me copy here. In general point, these are the points I need to explain now. I'll just copy paste it and I'll explain. First, when I'm going to start, this batch timing is every day 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. guys. What is this batch? 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. You can attend how many classes for free? 2 more classes free. Today you attend this class for free, right? Not only this class free, tomorrow and day after tomorrow you guys can attend what? Free classes again. 2 more classes. In the next 2 free classes, I'll start what? Practical sessions, guys. So today we discussed only theory. What the Power BI can do, you theoretically know. But you don't do any ETL today. You don't create OLAP database. You don't create visuals. You don't do anything. But in the next class, we'll start practicals. Power BI developer work will start in where? Power BI desktop. In which software? Power BI desktop. Tomorrow, in the next class, tomorrow's class, I'll tell you first how to install what? Power BI desktop. And then I'll tell you how to open what? Power Query, how to do what? ETL. Practically we'll see. Then we'll go to Power Pivot and we'll create what? OLAP. Then we'll go to Power BI, we'll create what? Reports. Then I'll publish that report to Power BI service, share with whom? In the introduction class itself, I'll give the overview. I don't explain in detail. What is ETL in detail, I don't explain. But I'll tell you high level. So in the next 2 classes, you will learn what? Practically, at a high level, how the Power BI software will work, you will learn in what? Next 2 classes, guys. So important point you need to notice. Next 2 classes, batch timing is not 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Only for tomorrow and day after tomorrow, the class is 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Free classes will be at what time? 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. But actual classes is from where? 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Only free classes will be conducted between 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Only tomorrow and day after tomorrow. After that, actual batch timing is what? 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Keep in mind that point. So I will take this class for next 2 months. Next 2 months batch timings is 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. only. Only free classes will have what? 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, your class timings is 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Regular class timings is 8 p.m. to paid classes will start immediately between 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, now this is all about the new batch details. We guys understand when we are going to start new batch. Now I'm going to send an email. The email will contain what are the things is. First one you will have in the email is what? Recorded session. You are going to get one recorded video. Next one you will get in the email is what? Notepad. Whatever I written in this notepad, I'll attach in the email. You also get introduction class Word document. You'll get every class Word documents like this. If you go to each module, each class you will get one Word document like this. Today we have introduction, right? This is the introduction Word document. I am going to attach this Word document in the mail. Just go and read it once. You will not only get introduction class Word document, in the mail you will get what? Course content. I'm going to attach this course content also, guys. Look at this. This is the Power BI course content. This content I listed, what are the topics I'm going to cover as part of this training. Whatever the content I listed in this course content, every topic I'll cover with real-time examples, guys. This course content have how many pages? 11 pages. So I will not walk through 11 pages now, but let me tell you at a high level. So the course content I'll cover for what duration? 60 hours, more than 2 months. Classes will be generally from where? Monday to Saturday. Sometimes Monday to Friday. Sometimes you will have class on Saturday. Saturday might be optional. Must and should you will have the classes from where? Monday to Friday. Saturday, if required, we will take it. Otherwise, Friday and Saturday and Sunday is holiday. In a week, I'll take either 5 classes or 6 classes. In that case, it will take what? More than 2 months of time. To complete the Power BI class, it will take more than 2 months of time. So what you will learn in more than 2 months of time is you will learn how to do data analysis using what? Power BI. I'm going to teach you for the 60 hours of time how to do data analysis using what? Power BI. I will discuss it for what? More than 2 months of time. So now I'll tell you high level breakdown, guys. I'll not go and explain this course content point by point. You go through it and read it and you'll understand what I'll cover. But let me tell you now, high level breakdown of 40 hours, high level breakdown of 60 hours. Who will provide the OLTPs? Companies. Will Power BI data analysts do anything here? No, we don't spend any time here. First work we will do is what? ETL. We'll do ETL in where? Power Query. So Power Query, you people will learn for how many hours? 13 hours. What you will learn there? How to do the ETL using a language called M language or mashup language. Okay, we'll talk about it. After the ETL, what is the next work Power BI data analyst need to do? OLAP. Where you need to create OLAP? Power Pivot. You will start learning Power Pivot for how many hours? 17 hours. What you will do there? You will create OLAP database. While creating OLAP database, you will learn data modeling concepts. You will learn data warehousing concepts. And you will learn what? DAX language, guys. So this is important one. This is important one. So we will discuss data modeling, data warehousing, and DAX language. After creating OLAP, next step is what? Creating reports. Where we will create reports? Power View. How many hours will teach Power View? 17 hours you will learn how to create the reports. After creating reports, what you need to do? Share reports with the clients. Using what software? Power BI service. You guys will learn Power BI service for how many hours? 13 hours. What you will learn? Azure cloud concepts, admin related concepts, and also you will learn what? Power BI project, guys. This is the breakdown of 60 hours at a high level. You will learn extensively the 60 hours. Now, what add-ons you will get from the course is, I will not just teach this course topic-wise. What add-ons you will get is, you will get what? Real-time projects. After you complete this course, you people will do this kind of projects, guys. This is the project, this kind of project. I'll share this kind of project requirement document, Retail AB project. There you will have a lot of requirements. You will have source information. The source is what here? SQL Server database. And we will give a lot of requirements for ETL. And we will give how to build the OLAP database. You will have requirements. You will read the requirements and you will build it. So we will have reports. We'll have what? Reports. You will read this requirement document. You will do it. In the company also, they will tell the requirements like this. And you want to build the reports. So this kind of projects you will do it, guys. Before I go and explain remaining 3 points, I'll come back and I'll explain. Now let me tell you who can learn Power BI. So what is the question? Who are the people can learn Power BI? If you are a fresher, you are eligible to learn Power BI. Fresher means if you are done with the graduation in the year 2023 or 2024, 2025, they will be considering as what? Freshers. So what you will do is you will learn the course, you will do some projects here, you'll keep that in the resume and you will try for the job as a fresher. We have a lot of opportunities for freshers. Not only this, who can learn Power BI is career break or career gap. What is this career break or career gap is? Imagine you done with the graduation in the year what? 2017 or 2018 or 2019, something so. That means you complete your graduation 5-6 years back. These people will not treat as freshers. They don't get it. So somehow you are not working anywhere and you are looking for a job. So you are good to learn Power BI. But you people want to keep experience, guys. What you need to keep? Experience. 3 to 5 years you need to keep. How much experience? 3 to 5 years based upon when you complete. 3 to 5 years. Who will provide this experiences? There will be some consultancies. What? Consultancies. Who will provide what? Experience. You'll get the experience from them and you'll showcase it and you'll try to get the job as experienced person. All right? So I designed this Power BI course purely keeping in mind not the freshers. Freshers, they'll learn what they need. More than that, they will learn. But I designed this course purely for the experienced people, guys. After you've done 60 hours of training, I promise you, you can comfortably keep what? 3 to 5 years of experience. Even though you keep 3 to 5 years of experience, you can crack the interview by your own. You can do the Power BI project by your own. One person, you are the only one person do the Power BI project. That much skills you will learn. So, career gap people can happily come and learn Power BI. Learning Power BI is easy. And even if you showcase 3 to 5 years of experience, survival is easy. See, if you go and learn Java, and if you try to keep 5 years of experience, survival is difficult. Why? Because Java, a lot of coding. We cannot do that. But if you learn Power BI as it's an easy tool, even if you keep 3 to 5 years of experience, you can survive. That advantage you have. Not only these people, guys. The third category of people who can learn is, which one? Career transition. Career transition means already you are working on some other technology. What? Some other technology. Now you are working either in non-IT or IT. Some people will be working in banking sector, or working in accounting sector, or working in healthcare sector, or some sector, non-IT sector, somewhere else. You are trying to switch into IT. The Power BI is best software to learn. What you people will do is, this kind of people will keep 3 years of experience on Power BI. I'll tell you how to keep, and we'll try for the Power BI job. Some people will already working in the IT, like they are working in testing, QA testing. They're working in the mainframe. They're planning to switch, or they're working in some old data analytics softwares where there is no more opportunities. They want to switch into what? Power BI. These people also, people who want to do career transition also, they want to keep 3 to 5 years of experience on what? Power BI. So only freshers, you don't need to show any experience. This two category of people, they need to show what? 3 to 5 years of experience. I'll tell you how to prepare the resumes for freshers, how to prepare the resumes for what? Career gap people, how to prepare the resume for what? Career transition people, how to apply the jobs. I'll talk to one-on-one. So finally, who are the people can learn Power BI means? Freshers, career gap, or career transition. Now, as most of the people who join this course, most of the people, 80% to 90% who join this course, they want to keep 3 to 5 years of experience. I know that. So I promise you, when you are done with my 60 hours of training, you can comfortably keep how much experience? 3 to 5 years of experience. So for those people, they need these points, guys. I will discuss Power BI developer roles, and tomorrow when you join in the company as a Power BI developer, what are the roles and responsibilities we'll have? We will see, guys. These are the Power BI developer roles and responsibilities you'll have. Every roles and responsibilities what we written here, we will discuss practically. We'll discuss practically with real-time scenarios, right?
Yeah,
So
I have one question here. So
I'll answer. Please make a note of the question. Just within few seconds, I'll answer. Let me complete. So we not only discuss Power BI roles and responsibilities, we are also help in what? Resume preparation. I said that I'll talk to you one-on-one. I'll came to know what is the category of person you are. Based on that, we'll help you in what? Resume. We will provide you what? Interview questions. We'll also conduct what? Mock interviews, guys. So, and most importantly, we will provide all the 60 hours recorded sessions with you. We will share it. You can use it for your reference, and we also have support team. Tomorrow, when you got any question when you are doing the practice, you don't need to wait for me all the time. We have a separate support team who will help you to clarify your questions, guys. If this team is not able to help you, you can reach out to me also. Now I'll go with the questions, guys. What is the common question people will ask is, before I give sufficient time for the questions, one common question I'll get is, any prerequisite to learn what? Power BI. So any prerequisite to learn Power BI means what I said? No prerequisite to learn Power BI. So in order to, without knowing any, even you are from non-IT background, you don't have any prior computer knowledge, I'm happily welcome you to this course. It's my responsibility. Within 60 hours, I'll teach Power BI from very basic to advanced without having any prior knowledge. Okay. So, but you learn Power BI within 60 hours thoroughly. Even though you learn Power BI thoroughly within 60 hours, only with Power BI, you don't get the job. Only with Power BI, you don't get what? Job. To get the job on Power BI, what is mandatory? SQL is mandatory. So 90% of Power BI job postings will be in the combination of what? Power BI plus SQL. Some jobs they'll ask Power BI plus SQL plus Excel also. Some jobs they'll ask Power BI plus SQL plus Python. Some jobs Power BI plus SQL plus Power Apps, Power BI SQL plus ADF, Power BI SQL plus Tableau. This combination, less number of jobs. Major jobs are what? Power BI plus SQL. Without SQL, you cannot get the job in where? Power BI. Try to understand this important point. So we are telling that SQL. I'll come back. What is SQL stands for? I'm telling that SQL is required to get the job. It is a structured query language. It's a language which is commonly used in all the databases. Commonly used in all the databases. So today, to explain this demo, I choose a common language called what? Today, to explain this demo, I choose one language, English, because it's common for you and me. So we know English is common. To communicate with these databases, to communicate with you, today I choose what language? English. In order to communicate with this database, I need to learn what language? SQL. Because this can understand only what language? SQL. So SQL is a language which will help you to communicate with all the databases. It's a common language. So in order to learn the SQL language, I'll talk more about it. Concentrate, guys. You need to learn one of the database. You go and learn any database, whether you learn MySQL database or whether you learn SQL Server database, no matter. SQL concepts are same. What is same in all the databases? SQL. If you learn SQL in one database, the same thing will be applicable for other databases also. In our training institute, we are going to teach you what? SQL Server, SQL concepts, how many hours? 40 hours of time. So here, important point is, I don't use SQL anywhere in Power BI. We are talking about SQL. SQL will not be used to extract the data. SQL will not used to do the ETL. SQL will not used to create the OLAP database. SQL will not used in Power BI to create the reports. SQL will not used to publish the reports and share the reports to the clients. Without knowing the SQL, you can complete the complete Power BI project. When you can complete the Power BI project without SQL, why every job they're asking SQL? You need to understand this point thoroughly. I'm telling that SQL nowhere used in the development. Even if you don't know SQL, you can thoroughly learn what? Power BI. And you can complete what? Power BI project. You can create reports, you can share it. But when you can do without knowing SQL, why companies are asking SQL? Someone tell me, if you know. No, that is not the reason. No, even in the OLAP database also, in Power BI, without knowing SQL, you can build it. Even to take the data from data source, to Power Query, we don't write single SQL query. Without writing it also you can. Yes. So what is the reason why you need SQL is, mostly companies will store the data in the databases. In what? Databases. Okay, you extract the data from database, you do the ETL in the Power Query, you create the OLAP database in the Power Pivot, you create the reports in the Power View. Power BI developer is playing with 3 different softwares and doing a lot of work. How can you blindly tell this report is correct? You cannot blindly tell. You might do a mistake in where? Power Query. You might do a mistake in where? Power Pivot. You might do a mistake in where? Power View. You might be showing a wrong number here. Can I share the wrong number to the client? When you show the wrong number to the client will take wrong decision. So not recommended. After you create the report, we need to go and check whether that numbers are correct or not. What we need to check? Numbers are correct or not, we need to check it. In order to check that numbers, we need to go to this database. This databases can understand what language? SQL language. Using that SQL, you will write what? Queries. That queries will give some numbers. Yes or no? That numbers we need to compare with what? The report numbers. Then only your report is correct. If both numbers are same, then your report is correct. If both numbers are different, your report is wrong. If it is correct, then only you need to share with what? Clients. Try to understand. SQL is not used in where? Development phase of Power BI project. After developing the reports, Power BI developer need to do what? Test the reports. SQL need to use to test the reports. Okay. To develop the report, SQL not required. To test the report, SQL required. So you can learn them parallelly or you can learn them one after the other. As there is no dependency. You need to do first SQL work, then you need to do Power BI. There is no such kind of dependency. After developing the report, we will test the report. It's an independent work, which will not come in between somewhere, right? So you can learn them parallelly. Let's say you learning Power BI in the evening time. You learn SQL in the morning time. If you already know SQL, you learn only Power BI. If you don't know SQL, you need to learn what? Power BI plus SQL. So you need to learn Power BI for how many hours? 60 hours, which will help you to perform data analysis or develop the reports. Who will teach it is, I am the one who will teach it. And we will learn what? SQL Server database, SQL concept for 40 hours, which will help you to test the reports. Venkatesh sir will teach you. So you can talk, these are the front office team members. You can ask front office team members when we are going to start SQL classes, they will help you. Now we'll go with the questions, guys. Now I'm done with my demo. When is your next class? Tomorrow at what time? Tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Only tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Sorry guys, 13th and 14th. Your classes is 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And from the next class, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for next 2 months. Keeping in mind these timings, you enroll, right? Right, guys.
Yeah,
Anybody have any
understand.
questions?
This is the online or